welcome to the Torpedo Stadium here on the banks of the Moskva River. And the river is very swollen today, I can tell you. We've had torrential rain in Moscow all day. Traffic jams all around the city. The United team coach delayed on its way to the stadium. But all is well now. We're kicking off just a little behind schedule. Torpedo Moscow in the white shirts and black shorts will be attacking from right to left here in the first half. Manchester United, of course, in their familiar strip of red shirts and white shorts. You've seen the team changes for Manchester United as Bruce is beaten by Talalayev. Peter Schmeichel coming into the United side tonight. He didn't play in the first leg because of the complications of the UEFA rules these days. You're only allowed 3 foreign players and 2 assimilated, as they call them. That is, players who've been in the country for 5 years or more. Schmeichel, Hughes, McClare, the 3 foreigners for Manchester United. Erwin and Ryan Giggs, the Welshman, the 2 assimilated players. The referee today is from Denmark, Jan Damgaard. The stadium here only half full because of the rain and the unusually early kickoff time. The time here in Moscow 2 hours ahead of British time, so it's only about 5:15 in the afternoon. A small stadium. The pitch, not really to Manchester United's liking. They came and trained on it last night, and Alex Ferguson and the players said it's a little uneven, a little bumpy, and obviously now very, very wet. Erwin wearing number 2, but playing at left back, getting the ball out to Giggs on the far side. The interception by the tall Vostro Savlin. As you heard, just one change in the Torpedo side from the away leg for them at Old Trafford. They brought in an attacking player, Kozhumov, in place of a defender, Martinov, who's now on the bench. Free kick to Manchester United. Taking over in midfield, Paul Ince, who didn't play in the first leg because he was suspended. 4 is the United captain, Steve Bruce. Looking for some movement up front. And finally chipped it in over the head of Wallace and the small sweeper. Number 3, Cheltsov, allows it through to his goalkeeper and captain, Kotshivalov. Torpedo looks a difficult side to break down in the first match at Old Trafford. The question is, now that they have to be more adventurous at home, will they be any more effective? Richine with the through ball, but the linesman signalling offside. Well, alongside me today, as he was at Old Trafford a fortnight ago, Dennis Lord. Dennis, how do you see this game working out for United?
Well, I think I agree with Ron to a certain extent. I mean, it's pointless to say that United have got to position, because that's exactly what they've got to do. They could. I mean, it was a bad result at Manchester, but if it was one good thing about it, of course, they didn't concede a goal. And as we all know, that away goals count too. United could come here, and if they get their score draw, then they'll go through. I didn't see anything in Manchester regarding Torpedo Moscow to be afraid of them at all. They were very competent on the ball, but I didn't see them scoring many goals. In the home ground, that could be different. I think United have got a great chance to go through tonight.
Neil Webb with the through ball for Hughes to chase. The sweeper Cheltsov across quickly and concedes the throw. About 400 or 500 Manchester United supporters have made this long and difficult journey to the Russian capital to support their team here as the throw-in goes to Hughes again near post, and he whipped it across dangerously, and that was the first real opening, and it's produced the first real corner for Manchester United. Dangerous cross from Hughes, and I think it was Vostro Savlin who got the ball away for a corner kick. Kotshivalov organising his defenders. Pallister and Bruce both forward for the corner, but it went in a little too flat and low to this near side. Ryan McClare, an important man for United today. Neil Webb wearing 5, a rare opportunity for him to lay his claim for a regular place. And before there, Afanasiev marking Wallace, who helps it back to Webb. And again, the interception by Cheltsov. Phelan, who's come in at right back today for Manchester United. Wallace, and given away by Danny Wallace, who, like Webb, sees these European games as a major opportunity to remind people he's around and a first-team prospect. Don't play many games in the first team these days, Webb and Wallace. Bruce. The layoff by Webb. Inch finding Irwin on the left-hand side. Ryan Giggs, the 18-year-old who didn't play, remember, in the first match, and I think he could be the key to it for Manchester United tonight.
I don't only think that Giggs could be it. I think Hughes, and particularly with Brian Robson on the bench, there's a possibility that he could come on, and he's a great experience. But when you say about the pitch, Alan, it was a bit rough, but we've had torrential rain here in Moscow today, and it really is a forwards pitch. I always would like to play in a pitch like this, and I think there's the likes of Giggs and Hughes will be very prominent in Manchester United's attacking.
Giggs again in possession on that left-hand side, beats the first defender. The second challenge got the ball away from him, though. Now in midfield is Chugainov, the number 10, looking for Talalayev, the blonde centre-forward, who turned neatly and is then brought down by Pallister. No, the referee has said play on. Chugainov in possession. Over the head of Webb. Wallace is there to get it clear to Ince. And Pallister will be concerned the way Talalayev turned and got away from him then. And the first shot of any note in the game, going wide of target. Yuri Mironov, the coach of Torpedo Moscow, who's only been in charge of the side a couple of months, knowing that his side face a difficult match tonight against the much-respected Manchester United. Pallister then bringing down Talalayev. The referee waved play on, and it was Grishin who finally got the shot in, just wide of target. Up forward by Bruce. Hughes couldn't control it.
This is a spectacular point, isn't it, to commentate again? I don't know if the people at home know, but we're actually doing the commentary from a bus just outside the track from the open door. And the only thing about it, Alan, really, is that the bus is not going around the track, because we can't see the far side, can we?
Yes, I must say, if you'll pardon the expression, I've done it standing on a roof and behind the goal and on the touchline, commentating, I mean, but never from the open door of a bus. This is a first. Bruce concedes another corner as Afanasiev, the central defender, gets forward, and stadium only about half full, as I was saying today, but Manchester United, the biggest draw for the Muscovites, the biggest football club in Britain as far as they're concerned. Good-looking cross by Shustikov. Bruce gets it clear. Chugainov with the shot, and well watched by Peter Schmeichel. And on this greasy surface, any shot from any range could pose a problem.
I think when you get to that distance, as you say, Al, you've got to have a crack here. It's so greasy, the ball could skid so and swerve. If anybody is around there, then this is where you've got to be careful you don't concede too many kicks around the penalty area.
8 minutes gone, still 0-0 here. 0-0 the score, remember, in the first leg at Old Trafford. Torpedo on the attack again with the number 2, Filimonov. Then Shustikov in midfield, finding the little man Grishin, who had a good game at Old Trafford, the number 7. Shustikov again. Vostrosavlin, the tall defender. And United, good pressure then in midfield, forcing Torpedo all the way back to their goalkeeper, Podshivalov, who's also the captain of the side, and forced to concede the throw. I say forced, he wasn't under any immediate pressure, panicked a little bit. Wallace. Webb. That looked like a foul on Wallace, and the referee, in actual fact, has given the free kick Torpedo's way, rather surprisingly. Afanasiev, the number 4 here. Bit of a middle-of-the-road side in terms of Soviet football, Torpedo Moscow. They've got a newly organised league in the CIS, as it is these days. And Torpedo failed to make the playoffs for the championship. They're in the bottom half of the 2 sections league table they have here now. A couple of internationals in the side and a couple of fringe internationals. But an experienced team in Europe. Pallister playing it forward, looking for Wallace, headed away by Afanasiev. Another throw for United. Back it goes to Webb. Now Wallace. Ince pointing to where he wanted it on the near post. Wallace comes in field though and finds the number 3. Nicky Phelan.
Didn't know if that was quite a shot or a cross, but it's been a reasonably good start for Manchester United, hasn't it? Quite comfortable, not really been under a great deal of pressure whatsoever. And if they could sort of get a hold of Grecian and Shustakov in midfield, who played quite well in the first game at Old Trafford, but with Ince in there for Manchester United, I think he's going to sit on Shustakov and stop him creating the moves that we saw at Old Trafford.
10.5 minutes gone. Still Torpedo Moscow 0, Manchester United 0. Kamalaya beaten and well beaten in the challenge by Neil Webb, but still Torpedo press on that far side with Vosporo Sablin, then little Grishin hugging the right touchline. Shustikov always available, always looking for the ball in midfield. And again feeds Vosporo Sablin on the right. Kalalaya. Easy interception by Giggs. Pallister. Ince takes over. Hughes. And the referee saying that was a fair tackle on Hughes. Phelan's got a motor here, so is Schmeichel. And the big goalkeeper gets there first. And an enormous clearance has forced his opposite number, Podchivalov, to make a timely interception. Good work that by Schmeichel, who adds so much presence to Manchester United when he plays. No criticism of the young goalkeeper Gary Walsh, who played in the first match at Old Trafford, but Schmeichel's physical presence, I'm sure, has a lot of uplifting effect on the players around him. Sablin getting it forward, looking for the 11, push him off, but couldn't find him. Phelan went down with a crack in the face a moment ago, but he's on his feet again, the United fullback. Ryan McClare. There's Giggs on the left touchline. And Giggs does well to round the defender, and Grishin cut out the cross. If it goes, it'll be a corner in that far corner of the stadium from where we're standing in our number 58 bus. No one rings the bell because we're really in trouble then. Irwin has come across to take it and hooks it up towards the near post where it's well cleared by Afanasiev. Floodlight's not too clever here either. It's a small and very open stadium. Wallace. Phelan. Ince taking over in midfield. Back it goes from Webb to Phelan. And Torpedo have it back. Grishin on the right, one of the great favourites of the home supporters. Shustikov with a little layoff, but well read by Pallister. This is Manchester United's 101st tie in European competition today, incidentally, and their first ever visit to Russia. Would any Soviet or former Soviet country come to that? Here's Grishin in possession for Torpedo. Kalalaya to his right. Pushimov in a central position. And Chugainov making a good run right through the middle of the United defence. Schmeichel did well again there. Good work, Dennis.
No problem at all for Schmeichel. That was a good through ball, and in this particularly greasy pitch. But as you could see the player going through there, there's no danger that Schmeichel is going to come up and get it. But when you think they've played 60 minutes now, there's been a good start for United. Whatever sort of attacks that Torpedo Moscow have had, they've calmed them down. They made a couple themselves. If they could bring Giggs and Wallace into it on both flanks and get the ball into Hughes, then I think United will start to get stronger. But at the moment, they've done quite well.
Phelan beaten to it by Pozhumov, but ends cleaning it up in the middle of the field. Then Talalayev intercepts. Pozhumov again. Talalayev has gone down injured. And that's who that ball was intended for. He made a miraculous recovery, didn't he? And he's gone down again from Webb's challenge. And I think the referee rather bought the dive there, as Neil Webb is indicating. Funnily enough, I thought he might have been fouled in the first challenge, but not the second one.
I would agree with that. I thought that Ince certainly got him in the first, and he did look it, but he just shows you a little bit of play acting there. Lovely dive. There, I thought he'd got him there, and the referee let play go on.
Talalayev himself has gone forward for the free kick here. He's laid short to Chugainov. Vostrosavlin further out to that right-hand side. They've got a lot of players forward here. 9-10 inside the United half. It goes forward towards Afanasiev, headed away by Bruce. Good clearance by the United captain. And the ball literally a few yards from our bus. Afanasiev, Phelan across to cover. Afanasiev tries to go between the two defenders. Phelan getting it forward. Good control by Hughes, then he's dispossessed. Shustikov now. Grishin, Afanasiev, Pozhumov. That's the useful looking ball. Grishin getting in behind Irwin, but to be fair, I think Irwin knew exactly where the danger was coming from them and just shielded the ball out of play. .5 minutes completed. I'm sure a lot of people at this unusual time of the day will be just coming in from work and joining us. It's Manchester United 0, Torpedo Moscow 0 here in Moscow. This second leg of Manchester United's tie. Hughes. Giggs. And gets the cross in towards Hughes. Cleared away though by Filimonov. Wallace. And now Webb. Bruce calling for the ball on the halfway line and gets it. Pallister. The two centre-backs combined. Made about 20 yards into the Torpedo half. Ball finds Hughes. Phelan just gets there and gets a good-looking cross in, but I'm afraid he just carried the ball over the touchline. Goal kick.
But it was good play by Man United. They're doing everything right. They're not getting under a great deal of pressure. They're knocking the ball about. If the pass isn't on, they've knocked it back. They've knocked it across. And at the moment, I'm sure that the players are feeling very happy with the way the game is going.
A good steady start by Manchester United. Pallister's clearance. Shustikov. Vostrosavlin. Back to the tall defender. Shustikov is there again. He very much threads things together. For Torpedo in the middle. So Pallister wins it back to United. Now Danny Wallace. On to Brian McClare. And that's a foul. United's free kick. And they've again chosen to send both Pallister and Bruce forward. Hooked in by Webb to the far post. That's a good header and well taken by the goalkeeper.
That was a good cross to the far post. Bruce very much unmarked, but when you look at the distance, Alan, I mean, he's got a good header in, but really it was so far out. Mind you, if it hit the ground first, it could have caused a little problem for the goalkeeper. Good work by Ince. Led the danger nicely then and finds Webb.
Now Phelan. Hughes dispossessed, but fouled. Kidimonov claims that he won the ball, but the referee was well placed and awards the free kick to Manchester United. Again, Pallister has gone forward with Bruce, and it's aimed up towards the two big centre-backs. Bruce is there to win it again. Well, and Hughes gets the shot in, and the goalkeeper had no real problem.
Well, they just show you that far ball to the post. Hughes didn't get quite a hold of it there, didn't he? It was a good turn, did well, but didn't quite get a hold.
Towering clearance by Pallister. It comes straight back into the United half. Now Webb. Phelan. Wallace. And the foul by Phelan. Guinot takes the free kick quickly. Shustikov. Rishi. Very fluid sort of side. A lot of interchange of positions amongst the midfielders. They basically play five across the middle of the field as well. But genuinely two real attacking players today. They only had one at Old Trafford a fortnight ago. Here he is, Talalaya. And he again felt he should have had a free kick then, but over-dramatised the fall perhaps. Here's Hughes for United.
As you said, Alan, they are a very comfortable side, aren't they? Now, I certainly hope I don't put the muckers on Manchester United, but they don't look a great deal of threatening. It doesn't look at any threatening power up. All right, they put another forward up there. But even so, they knock it about nice in midfield, nice little ball, but they don't look dangerous.
Talalaya's header. Looking for Pojumov. Pallister clears. Now Webb. Back it goes to Bruce. It's a terrific ball to Wallace. And Wallace has got round Afanasieff, but can't find a bit of daylight behind him. Phelan. In it goes to Hughes. Wallace again. Good attack this for Manchester United. He's only got a throw in out of it. But that'll do. In a good vein of form at the moment, United. After 5 successive wins, they've drawn their last 4 games. They're proving a very difficult side to score goals against, although they're not getting too many themselves. Here's Webb. Pallister now. Bruce. As the rain continues to fall here in Moscow, the temperature drops as well. Quite a cold evening now in the Russian capital city. Midway through the first half, it's still 0-0. Bruce for Manchester United. That's one to test the goalkeeper, and Hughes got the shot in, and a scramble from which the goalkeeper came out with the ball.
Well, they got more confident, haven't they, as the game has progressed. Again, missed him more or less completely, but again, it just shows that United have been very good the first 50 minutes, and all of a sudden now they're trying to knock 2 or 3 attacks together and get that goal, which will be so important.
Yes, away goals, remember, so important in these European ties. We talked about the possibility of extra time tonight. Only a 0-0 scoreline after 90 minutes can produce extra time, of course, as Ince wins the ball back to United, but concedes a free kick in the process. Manchester United in their 16th season in Europe, and remember they won the Winners' Cup 2 seasons ago, but went out in the second round last season against Atletico Madrid. In fact, this is the only competition, the UEFA, that Manchester United have never won. Torpedo Moscow have never been further than the quarter-finals in any of their seasons in Europe. Talalaya. Shustikov. Did well, Shustikov, and indeed was fouled by Bruce. And the referee reaches for the back pocket and produces a yellow card for the Manchester United captain. A bit harsh, in my opinion. That decision by the referee. Has to take allowance for the wet pitch sliding tackles like that can often look worse than they are. Prosperous Sablin is himself dispossessed then by Ince. Now Hughes. Phelan getting it forward. Finding McClare. Clare doing well to hold off the defender. Webb chips it forward. A great ball. Phelan. On it goes to Giggs, but he's offside. Giggs switching now from the left to the right, but the linesman eagle-eyed. Free kick to Torpedo, who themselves are in their 14th season in Europe. As I say, their best performance reaching the quarter-final, something they've done 3 times in the Cup Winners' Cup twice, and this UEFA competition in 1990-91. Kelsock, the sweeper, hammers it forward. Pallister winning it back and finds Webb. Pallister. Good little ball infield to Hughes, who turned away from the defender and finds Brian McClare. McClare tries the shot. A bit ambitious from that range, perhaps. And Torpedo has possession back again with Shustikov. On it goes from Chugainov, and a useful ball. Danger here as Talalayev makes a good run, and also Pojumov, but the cross didn't come in quickly enough. Now Grishin. A good run this, and pulled back towards Pojumov, and the first real moment of apprehension then for Manchester United. First time Torpedo have looked really dangerous.
And it really was. Should have been much more dangerous for United, wouldn't it? Chugainov on the right-hand side before. Should have crossed the first time because Talalayev, he had stolen off on the left-hand side. He should have crossed the first time. But then it came in Grishin, came into the box, a lot of bodies about, didn't quite get it, and United were able to get rid of it.
Webb brings it back for United. And plays it forward to Hughes. Giggs scrapping for possession. And the verdict is a throw-in. Torpedo, incidentally, one of 6 major football clubs in the capital, and Mironov's team, one of 3 in action, in fact, this week in the various European competitions. 4, in fact. They finished 3rd in the old USSR League a couple of seasons ago, but they have gone into decline somewhat since then. Chugainov in possession for them. Afanasiev. Play forward towards Grishin. It wasn't a good ball, and United beginning now to get some measure of control over this game, you feel. Hughes is dispossessed, though. Good run this. The tall number 2, Kilimanov, finding little Grishin on the right. He's looking again for Talalayev in the middle. The ball pulled back, and there's no offside verdict. And the referee, to the great relief of Manchester United, turned aside a rather half-hearted appeal, I feel, then, for a penalty kick. But although I said United were beginning to get some control, Dennis, there have been a couple of moments in the last few minutes when their goal has been under threat. Well, they've broken a couple of times on United's right. I don't know if we could actually quite say it there. It was a sort of half appeal, wasn't it, for a penalty? And to be fair, you know, when you're playing abroad sometimes, you see referees get penalties for far less. But from our position, didn't look a penalty. Yes, the Danish referee was banged on then. From our position, we couldn't be much closer. We're almost in the penalty area here, which makes the goal United are attacking a long way away from us at the moment. And it's crossed the line at that end for a goal kick. The crowd, those of them who can afford umbrellas, using them. And somewhere in there is our mad taxi driver who got us to the stadium despite the traffic jams. Thought nothing of driving the wrong way down one-way streets or scattering a few pedestrians on pavements, driving through building sites. Dennis looked at the coach. Not this one.
Well, he wouldn't have to worry about any knocks in his car anyway, is it?
No, they don't tend to be the cleanest vehicles here in Moscow. Filimonov wins it back for Torpedo and finds Chugainov. Good strong challenge by Ince in the middle. Now Webb. The United players all did their tourist bit yesterday, incidentally. Took a trip to the Kremlin and Red Square and Basil's Cathedral and all the famous tourist spots. And what they really want to go home with, of course, is a win here and a place in the next round. We're into the last quarter of an hour of the first half, and they're partway towards achieving that objective. But then I guess Torpedo would say they are too. We haven't had any addition to the 0-0 scoreline from the first leg. Afanasiev for Torpedo. And Kozhimov a little bit weak in possession then. Brian McClare for Manchester United. He's given it away though. Filimonov. And he's given it away too to Giggs. They might be made to pay for that, as Giggs loves to run at defenders, and he's taken on 3 of them, but the third was one too many.
And we haven't seen a great deal of Giggs, as it's mainly today's game. It's mainly been very much midfield, isn't it?
Here's danger, but Schmeichel, well, he could play sweeper if he's as cool and calm as that.
Lovely header, wasn't it? It was.
Even found a man, which is more than Wallace did then. Grishin is on the right now. That's a useful ball forward. Good challenge, though, by Bruce. And then Wallace again, guilty of giving it away. Shustikov. Here's Grishin on the right. And he wins the throw. They've all been saying here in Moscow they expect Manchester United to make progress and beat their home team, but you often hear that in Europe. It's all part of the kidology. United haven't been fooled. Grishin in possession. Afanasiev calling for the ball. Grishin goes alone, and that was a good effort. And on a greasy pitch, it was extremely well dealt with by Schmeichel.
Very difficult indeed. He's a good little player, Grishin. He's come in, put it onto his right foot and really hit it, and it sort of just bounced before Schmeichel. Schmeichel did well to hold it.
Good work from Grishin, who we've christened 2000. McClare for Manchester United, and a storming run from the back by Irwin. And not a bad-looking cross either, and Wallace is in there, but couldn't control it quickly enough. Webb now for United. Good ball to the far post. No, it wasn't really. All too easy for Kozhimov, the 28-year-old goalkeeper. Not one of the internationals in their side, by the way. But a good steady keeper who made a couple of fine saves at Old Trafford a fortnight ago, particularly one from Webb, I remember. Webb, who also hit the post. He also made a good save from a header by Wallace in that first leg. But generally speaking, there weren't many goal-scoring chances at Old Trafford, and there haven't been many as yet tonight.
Well, they've got quite confident, haven't they, the last 10 minutes. United have gone out of it a little bit. They know that they've got to get it. They've got to get a goal. United are quite happy the way that the game's going.
Pallister. Irwin. Whips it forward, looking for Hughes, but didn't find him, and it brings to Talalaya. Now then, he's all alone at the moment. He needs support, and it was very good work by Phelan to get back and dispossess him anyway.
But Talalaya, he has good skills for a big guy, hasn't he? But he hasn't got the pace. He has, you know, if I'd been the other side, if I'd been a Wallace or something, he would have been right through.
There is Wallace, but the header inaccurate.
United need to get Wallace and Giggs much more into the game.
And now it's Torpedo using their wide men, in this case Afanasiev, the defender. Well, he should have done better really with the cross, and he knows it.
Well, of course, it's very difficult for defenders when Guy gets into the box there, and particularly in these conditions in Afanasieff, he didn't do it, did he? It was a dangerous situation. His cross was a bad one. When he came in, and you'll see when he doesn't know what to do here. He's in two minds. He's passed, and Pallister knows that there's nobody there and just leaves it.
Just about 10 minutes remaining now in the first half in Moscow, where Manchester United are still drawing 0-0 against Torpedo Moscow, so 0-0 still the aggregate score. As Chugainov plays a good ball forward for Grishin. He's got Palalayev in the middle in a good position. Took his time about the cross, Shustikov header, and Schmeichel had it read all the way.
No, that's the third time Alan, they've been in that situation, isn't it? And it's the third occasion that they've wasted it. There was Grishin. He should have knocked it in much earlier. He lays it back too late. The header far too far out.
I think Schmeichel was a bit unhappy, though, that he got that header in at all. Played here for Brøndby, incidentally, when he was playing back home in Denmark, Schmeichel. And they beat the home side here, Torpedo Moscow, in a penalty shootout in a quarter-final match. Torpedo haven't actually lost a match, so to speak, at home in 25 attempts in European football, but they've lost twice at home in penalty shootouts. Here's kick for Manchester United. Beautiful play right round the defender and drove the shot in right into the midriff of Pudchivala. Alex Ferguson and Brian Kidd, the United management team, just leaning forward to shout some tactical advice.
I think the tactical advice, Alan, is to get the ball off the gate. He's in the side. He is a very talented player. We saw a couple of occasions a minute ago. The shot itself was not particularly good, but that's it. I mean, they obviously fear him, and therefore I'm sure that Alex will say in the second half, listen, knock the ball out to the gate, let him get behind the Torpedo defence, and get the ball into Hughes on McLeod.
Pallister for Manchester United. United slowing it down. And Robson, I gather, is on the touchline with his tracksuit off, so it looks as though Manchester United are about to bring him on. Can't quite see it from where we're peering out of our number 58 bus here. But it looks certainly as though Jim McGregor, the United physio, has come over to catch the referee's attention, and that Brian Robson is about to come on. As Palalayev goes down, and Hughes is the second United player shown the yellow card for the challenge on him. And there indeed is Brian Robson, who replaces Danny Wallace. Now, whether that's an injury or a tactical substitution, I'm not sure, but Brian Robson hasn't played since a pre-season hamstring injury. And, of course, it isn't an injury known to man that Brian Robson hasn't had. 35 now, but I'm sure that'll be a great sight, with due respect to Danny Wallace, for the other United players to see their captain back in their midst again for the first time this season.
Yeah, whatever the reason being, Alan, whether it's through injury or it's a tactical move, the fact that Robson is on the pitch, I know he hasn't played for a couple of months, but he is a very much an inspirational player, isn't he? He gets other players playing, and with his tremendous experience at this level, that could only be good for Manchester United, can't it?
7 minutes to half-time, and the substitution was made. As Hughes skipped around the last defender, Filimonov, but he got the ball away from him still, and then Phelan is dispossessed by Pojumov, who gives it away to Webb. A little spell again from United. Webb hitting it in, far post. Grishin comes back to help his defenders. Not much help that. He gave the ball straight to Pallister. In. Good run by Ince. And slides it through for McClare. Done well to hold possession so long here, but as I say that, he gives it away to Afanasieff. Good Good work by Shustikov. He's quite happy on the ball. He was dispossessed in the end by Brian McClare, but very comfortable player indeed on the ball. And now Brian Robson gets his first touch of the game of the season. Giggs. Irwin. Alistair. And the so familiar style of Robson, just laying that one off again to Irwin, who gives it away rather clumsily. 5 minutes to go to half-time, still 0-0 in Moscow. Torpedo against Manchester United. Second leg, 0-0, the first leg score at Old Trafford. Phelan over the head of both McClare and Hughes there, but one of those United strikers was being fouled. Free kick to Manchester United. Shivalov organises his defenders for the kick, knowing that the threat as ever will come from Pallister and Bruce, who's moved up to a position on the left edge of the penalty area as we watch. And it goes from Webb. Not the best free kick though. And suddenly they break very suddenly, and into big fortune to get away with that challenge, I thought. But anyway, he certainly did the effective thing and stopped Torpedo in full flight.
Well, with only a couple of minutes to go, I think United will be quite happy with where the first half has gone if it stays at 0-0. I would think that in the first 50 minutes of the second half, again, take it a bit, sort of, don't let them get too much pressure on them. And then really what they've then got to do, and I feel they're capable of that, is to take the game to Torpedo Moscow, because I feel that if they could stem the first 50 minutes of the second half, United could go on and win this game.
Free kick to Torpedo. Afanasiev will take it. Just a little under 4 minutes remaining now to half-time. Kalalaev beaten by Phelan. Good tackle by Shustikov. Really like him. He looks a smashing player in the middle of the field. Chugainov finding Grishin. A trifle optimistic by Grishin. Kalalaev never going to reach that one, nor indeed would Linford Christie.
And that has been the main, hasn't it? They've played quite well, some lovely little moves, but it seems again, and it happens so many times in football, but the final ball has not been a good one.
It's Shustikov again. They've got to keep a careful eye on him. He's beginning to control things a little bit there in the middle of the park, but he's given it away now. Good running by Robson. So good at keeping the ball, isn't he, in those situations? He feeds Webb. Pallister now for United. Only 2 minutes on the watch now before half-time. Giggs making a run again down the left, pulls it back towards Ince, and a good lay-off, or was it? Not yet. He finally does lay it off, but Webb, and Webb ran into the crowd of defenders, but it breaks for Giggs. Whipped in again, and the goalkeeper of McClare almost punished him for the handling error.
Well, again, it was a good move by United, wasn't it? They had 2 or 3, and as I said before, if we can get the ball out to Giggs, he's so dangerous. Ball comes in, awful ball for defenders. It was Robson who got the shot in there. Goalkeeper had made a marvellous save, and before McClare can get in.
But worryingly for United, it's Robson who is down injured now in that melee.
Well, he's such a brave player in those situations, isn't he?
He could well have produced the goal there for United within a couple of minutes of coming on as substitute. It's a hamstring injury he's had, remember. And that would be very worrying for Alex Ferguson, who was quite prepared to have played Brian Robson from the start today, had it been necessary, but chose to put him on the bench in the end. Lee Martin, incidentally, out of contention for a place with a virus. Robson's all right again. And then it goes to the near post, and Hughes is almost onto it, and Robson again in the thick of things as ever, but a goal kick.
It was strange, that, wasn't it? I don't know if we'll be able to see it again, but, you know, when the ball came in, it looked as though Hughes was going to have a free hit. I don't know whether it was a shout from Robson or not, but Hughes seemed to leave it.
Well, we've had 45 minutes now.
It just shows you, since Robson come on, that United have looked at really big dangers, haven't they?
Well, if Dennis Law reached out now, he could grab the ball that's that close to us here. Phelan, cool play. And Pallister, on to Robson. Looks for Hughes. Challenge from behind, no free kick given. Or has it been yet? Thought the referee was going to let them play on, but he has whistled and shown the yellow card. I think Vostro Savlin was the player booked, or it could have been the number 2, Kidimonov. Just kind of waved it there, the referee. Getting to decide which player he cautioned. And that, in fact, is the end of the half. The referee has blown the half-time whistle, and a good half for Manchester United here in Moscow. The half-time scoreline, Torpedo Moscow 0, Manchester United 0. We'll be back with views of Ron Atkinson and Ian St John right after
the side. And as I say, they're certainly no weaker than they were when they started.
Well, it's a real heavy pitch out there in Moscow, so let's go back and join our commentary team of Dennis Law and Alan Farrell.
Thanks, Ian. Welcome back to the Torpedo Stadium, where inevitably the rain continues to fall here. No further substitutions made by either side during the half-time interval, so just the one sub in the game so far, the very important one of Brian Robson, who you've already been discussing. So Manchester United get the second half underway here in Moscow. 0-0 at half-time, 0-0 on aggregate. The possibility of extra time here, but remember, only a 0-0 scoreline after 90 minutes can produce that because of the away goals rule. If United get one, then Torpedo really are in trouble. United attacking the end, behind which their meagre following of fans are gathered in this second half. Here's Cheltsov, the sweeper. Ball layoff, gives United possession again. Pallister, back to Bruce. Robson. And back it goes once more to Cheltsov. Kidimonov on this near side. Chugainov. Ozymov on the left-hand side. Good strong run here by Afanasiev as well. And danger here for United. But the danger didn't last too long. Phelan finding Webb. The ball given away to Grishin. Gets it back again from Chugainov. Cheltsov. Shustikov. And good neat football by Torpedo, but they're not really getting anywhere. They're not hurting United as yet. And finally the challenge by Irwin ends them a throw-in, the tackle on Grishin. Good work again defensively by Manchester United, and then Hughes does well to win it on the halfway line and hold possession. And a nice ball forward to Webb. Now in. On it goes for number 9, Brian McClare. Hughes making a good run down the middle, and he spotted him and found him well. Now in. On it goes again to McClare. This is Giggs on the near side. Good attack this by Manchester United, and a good ball pulled in as well. Oh, the final shot coming in from Phelan on the edge of the box. Took a deflection and has gone behind for a corner. But that was a good move by United. very close to us down here on the touchline. Will take the corner. Phelan's shot produced it. And the ever-present danger of Pallister standing now almost on the goal line. And, of course, Steve Bruce. Good work by the goalkeeper, though. Bud Shivalov came very confidently for that one.
Well, United started off the second half as they finished the first half. Full of confidence. I'm sure Alex Ferguson will be quite happy with the way that things went in the first half. And it was a good shot, a good move by Phelan. It just got that deflection.
United's throw. We were talking in the first half about Torpedo Moscow's excellent home record. So too is Manchester United in Europe. In fact, when they played the first leg of this game against Torpedo, it was their 49th tie at Old Trafford in European competition, and they haven't lost one of them. 37 wins, 12 draws, and with their fine away record in the season, they won the Cup Winners' Cup. You can see why United have a good European record. Here's Hughes. And good work again, and the ball crossed in towards Giggs on the near post, but it was deflected behind for a corner before it reached him. This is just the kind of pressure United wanted early in the second half here. And noisy but small group of fans on that far side giving them great encouragement. And the corner goes in high towards Bruce and Pallister, but Chugainov gets it clear. Still the danger, though, for Torpedo here. Phelan in possession now, and Irwin the other fullback. Pallister calling for it to be lofted in high. And Phelan provides the ball. McClare didn't quite know where that was. And Chugainov gets it clear to Shustikov. Immediately under pressure from Rodson, but keeps possession. Moving down that left-hand side for Torpedo with Afanasiev. Shustikov. Chugainov. Game very, very finely balanced and evenly poised here at 0-0, both on the night and on aggregate. Here's Grichy for Torpedo. Good-looking ball. And immediately it goes in. Pallister gets it clear again. Shustikov. Chugainov. Crowd wanting the ball played into the Manchester United penalty area. And they finally get it. And Grichin in a good position here. He took too long, did he? Shustikov arrives at the board and gets the shot in. But really then, if Grichin had hit the ball first time when it was played to him, the Union Jack might have been unfurled rather sadly.
There was no doubt about it. He took far too long. It was a good... We didn't actually see that. You know, it came in a bit later than it should have done. And Shustikov just over the crossbar. But that really was the most dangerous moment for Manchester United.
And Yuri Mironov will maybe rue the day that his little number 7, Grichin, didn't decide to shoot on sight. Quite a misty evening as well here now. We're really on the banks of the Moskva River, and the mist has rolled in off the river to add to the very wintry conditions here in Moscow. And there's... of course, the man who might well have been facing his former Russian compatriots tonight. Manchester United's Ukrainian winger. Not chosen. Grichin playing a good-looking ball on here. And a rather dramatic ball again by Kozhimov. Unfortunately for United, the Danish referee has been very firm on that kind of play acting and has again waved it aside.
The Danish referee has been excellent tonight, isn't it? Because you could have seen 2 or 3 decisions which really would have been given by a lot of referees, and in your right line there, a lot of play acting.
Cheltov. Arapiev takes over. Vostro-Sadlin. And Afanasiev, far side. And a good challenge by Bruce. Again, the referee happy with it. Now Shishtikov, and in tackles him, and the crowd getting unhappy at one of the United tackles, but the referee, more significantly, is quite happy with them. Here's Giggs for United. And the home supporters smiling, but I'm sure they weren't too happy when those couple of crunching tackles went in. Takes a little nudge, and again the officials side with Manchester United. The verdict is goal kick.
Well, I certainly have G'd the crowd up, haven't they? Because they've been reasonably quiet. I think mainly because Manchester United were getting on top. They started this second half with a bit more fire, really. They know that it's the longer the game goes on, of course, the more danger it is for them, and Manchester United will get more confident.
Let's remind you of the situation. 0-0, the first leg at Old Trafford a fortnight ago. 0-0 tonight. If Manchester United score, that's an away goal. Therefore, Torpedo Moscow would have to score twice to win the game. United have a free kick. Ryan Giggs wanted to take it quickly, wasn't allowed to do so. So instead, Irwin comes across to swing one in, right-footed. Bruce has made a charging run forward. He'll be the target. Swung high towards him, but headed away by Sablin, and then the shot by Brian McClare well off target.
Well, it was such a difficult ball to hit that. You know, that the headers come out. There was McClare, and he had to hit it first time, but unfortunately didn't quite catch it well. The Russian coach doesn't too happy there.
Just under 10 minutes of play now in the second half, without any addition to the scoreline. So we still await the first goal of this tie. Vishin gives it away. Alistair slipped as he cleared the ball. And Manchester United get the throw in as Grishin went down, challenged by Giggs. I think maybe there's going to be another substitution here, presumably by Torpedo Moscow this time. Or is it United? No, in fact it is United. Phelan is coming off to be replaced by Paul Parker. Phelan, who had an ankle injury and was playing tonight the first time for a month for him, is replaced by Paul Parker, who's actually himself only had one game in the last 6 months. So maybe Phelan was feeling that ankle again. Parker, who's had a very bad hamstring injury, on to take his place. So United have used both their substitutes, and neither of them are fully fit by Alex Ferguson's own admission. He would have given them another couple of weeks at least had he been allowed to do so, but he needed the full quota of English players available to him.
And it was a shame that Phelan really has gone off, because I think he hasn't had that much football, but he played particularly well, I thought, in the first half. But obviously he's been feeling the injury on this particularly heavy pitch as well.
Giggs unable to control that one. I think a lot of people in Europe feel that this new rule about only being allowed 3 non-national players is maybe seen as the thin end of the wedge to bring pressure on Great Britain to have a British national team perhaps one day, rather than the England, Scotland, Ireland, Wales foursome that we currently have, because it does seem a strange ruling denying spectators the chance to see the very best players from a side like Manchester United tonight. It's a ruling I personally find very difficult to understand or agree with. I'm sure the spectators here in Moscow, who are great fans of Manchester United via their television sets, would love to have seen all the best players United possess, regardless of where they were born.
Well, certainly one thing, Torpedo Moscow, they don't have that problem anyway.
The game just losing a bit of its sparkle at the moment, as the ball seems to spend a lot of time out of play. And yet another throw-in, conceded this time by Sablin. I think United will be too disappointed if they can kind of kill the game. Alistair has come forward for this throw. He was beaten by Talalayev, though. Robson then was beaten. Then it breaks into got the shot in through that crowd of players, all players appealing, either for a corner or a goal kick, depending which shirt they were wearing, but a goal kick the outcome. And the United fans who have gone through some heartaches and some expense to come all this way out here to see their team. Quite pleased, I'm sure, with the way this tie has gone so far. Talalayev with the layoff. Ince wins it back. That's good work by Shustikov. Not a bad ball either. That's Afanasiev out on the left. And still, and got the shot in, which was deflected to Talalayev. Oh, it's a terrific save, and it breaks to Chuganov. And they should have done better. Wonderful save in the first place by Schmeichel to keep United in the game.
Magnificent save, because as the rebounds come back, there is Talalayev. Beautiful save. Come back to Chuganov, pulled it back. There was it over the crossbar by Grecian. But a very dangerous moment, and probably the most... What a marvellous save that was.
Well, little Grecian's had one of those nights he won't look back on with any great affection. He's wasted one or two good openings, either by delaying crosses from the right in the first half, or a couple of times now delaying his shot or getting it off target as he did then. So, a bit of a let-off for Manchester United. Good goalkeeping by Schmeichel. Paul Parker. Back to Bruce. If anything, the rain seems to be getting heavier, and it seems to be getting mistier and mistier here. Robson chips a good ball in. Hughes goes in hard. And now Grecian brings it clear for Torpedo and hits the long ball for Talalayev. It was immaculate defending, though, by Pallister. Very cool work. Ryan Giggs. Look to see him run at defenders now. And he's done just that and hooks it in to the far post. Easy for Podshivalo.
Back cross, really, Ryan. He didn't look up, did he? It was, knocked it to the far post, but there was no players there.
Hour of the game gone. Still 0-0. Torpedo Moscow against Manchester United. Parker for United. On as a substitute for Phelan, presumably off injured. Robson is on as a substitute for Wallace and has been since 7 minutes before half-time. Pallister. Bruce. Robson. Patience, the key word now for United. Got to keep possession. As I say that, Irwin gives it away, but has won it back. And done well here, Irwin. Done really well. And fouled by Sinimanov. Indirect free kick, says the referee. So he's given obstruction against United's Republic of Ireland fullback. Now this is a good position here. If they deliver a good ball in here, Irwin, I suspect, maybe Giggs, there could be danger. And it goes far post, and Podshivalo strips it away. Pozhumov in possession. And Shustikov. Now Afanasiev breaking from his defensive role. Cool play by Parker, wasn't it? And he finds the other substitute, Robson. And there he is again. And back it goes to Parker. Good ball. Excellent ball. Giggs has got a lot of space to attack here. Slides it in short. Hughes. Good work from Hughes. Good work by Hughes. Oh. That was a marvellous effort by Mark Hughes.
But he's so dangerous, isn't he? He's so powerful, keeping defenders off. And he's turned around, very sharp indeed. Hit the shot well. Good save by the keeper.
I'm sure we have lots of new viewers joining us. And for those of you who maybe have just switched on, just come in, it's still here in Moscow, Torpedo Moscow 0, Manchester United 0. Early in the second half of this second leg tie. No goals on aggregate then. So all to play for here still. Arafiev for Torpedo. Not a bad ball. Chugainov. They've got room on the left here. Oh, but it was a wild effort. I think by the number 11, Hashimov. If you have just joined us, I can tell you that Brian Robson, Manchester United captain, is playing his first game of the season. He came on as a substitute for United just before half-time, replacing Danny Wallace. They also have Paul Parker on, his first, or rather only second game for 6 months. He has replaced Phelan in the second half here. Manchester United have had a couple of moments when their goal has been in danger, and one fine save by Schmeichel in particular. But otherwise, it's been a pretty even match in terms of the dearth of goal-scoring opportunities. Hughes for Manchester United. McClure plays it forward to Webb. Webb with the layoff, into his shot along the ground, and the keeper, well, he eventually got there. He made a bit of heavy weather out of it.
Ince has played well today. I think he's been excellent in midfield, and he's come through and had a couple of shots of goal.
Grishin for Torpedo Moscow, who's missed their best opening of the game and is now brought down by Ince. Former under-21 international Grishin, and the Torpedo bench wondering if their side are going to regret Grishin's miss earlier in the half. The best chance of the game so far. Cheltsov. Sidimonov. Vostrosabli. Grishin. Easy for Parker. Bruce takes over. And the ball given away by United. Shustikov in possession. Tries to line up the shot. Looks for Chugainov, far post. Good tackle. Great tackle. Did really well there in.
I think he's had an excellent game today because they broke so well in the right there. Ince, he's chased him all the way. He's blocked his shot. Give away the corner.
That's really good defending by Paul Ince. Chugainov would have had a very big slice of net to aim at there. But a corner. Gone short. Shustikov, good little back heeler, and the shot by the number 11, Hashimov, fielded with ease by Schmeichel. And a good early throw by the Manchester United goalkeeper to Webb. Giggs has made a good run here, and he's picked him out. Hit him on off across the cover, and took it off him with nonchalant ease. But then bad work by Cheltsov has given United the throw-in. I've just come in. I can tell you Dennis Law and I are watching this game from a bus, believe it or not, on the running track surrounding the pitch. It's their idea of a good commentary position. Here's Hughes. Knocked back in again, and that caught the defenders a bit by surprise. Just pop out and see if it's still raining, will you, Dennis?
Lovely. Maybe the bus didn't move. We can get round that far corner.
Amidst the damp night in Moscow, still 0-0. United's European future hanging by the thread. Good ball in to Hughes, though. And Hughes has turned well here, and he's still got possession, Hughes. And finally forced in by Webb, and the goalkeeper at the second attempt safely grabbed the ball.
Well, it's certainly been a much better second half. There's been much more opportunities. Hughes is ever so well. There's so many defenders there. There's a bit of a ricochet, comes back to Webb, hits it well, keeper saves.
The coaches will now be waiting for you behind the goal of Peter.
Headed away by Bruce.
Please return to
Over McClare's head, though. Vostro Sablin.
Thank you.
Giving it away. A win for Manchester United. Giggs. A win again. They've won the throw in United. Header by Vostro Sablin. Midway through the second half now. And still 0-0 in Moscow. So the possibility of extra time remains a very real one. This is Bruce for Manchester United, the captain. Makes room for the high ball towards Hughes. And the referee has given a foul, a push by Hughes on Filimonov. Dennis, it's very tense this now, isn't it? Very evenly poised.
Well, both teams have had their opportunities, haven't they? And it's been good save by both keepers. But you must say that what we've seen already, they've come into it a lot more the second half. They realise the importance of them playing at home. They've attacked a little bit more. And it's been a much better game, isn't it? But it really is very finely balanced.
Panatia finding Shustikov, who played it in rather clumsily. Vishin came to his rescue, and then a good challenge by Ince again. And Cheltsov whacked it against the United midfield man. Torpedo get the throw. And
it's interesting as well, because most of their dangerous moves in this second half have come. There's the old United supporter there. He's travelled all the way from Russia. All the same Old Trafford. I would just say that most of their moves, or dangerous moves, has come since Phelan went off. They've attacked Parker on that right-hand side, and, you know, maybe he's not match fit, but at 2 or 3 occasions they've got down there, have been no marking.
Robson for Manchester United. Given away to Chugainov. Bruce did well on a skiddy surface like this, much hated by defenders. Discretion very much the better part of valor. And the rain continues to pour heavily here. It does not stop today. Moscow's almost underwater.
I'll tell you something, I will never complain of Manchester weather again.
Yeah? Never. Should make these Mancunians feel at home. Cheltsov brought down by Brian McClare. And it's the yellow card for the United man. That's 3 players now. United have had caution. Vostro Sablin. Afanasiev. Vishin. Looking for Arapiev and finding it well. And he's gone inside these 2 United men. It's a good run, this. Shustikov. And he has not forced the corner, which he thought he had. It's a goal kick.
But they're looking better, aren't they? They're looking much more aggressive, or much more positive in the second half. And United are doing well to keep him at bay. United, on the other hand, have defended well.
Torpedo Moscow, who long before their new coach took over, won the old Soviet League 3 times altogether, twice back in the 1960s, and their last championship in 1976. They've also won the Soviet version of the FA Cup half a dozen times, but haven't won much for a long time now, though. And their record in Europe, a good one. Hope United can bring it to an end swiftly this season.
Attention, please.
Here's Bruce for United.
To all Manchester United supporters.
About 18 minutes to play. Gets it forward towards McClare. McClare took it down neatly and set up the shot by Robson. Well, that was close. And it's astonishing, isn't it? 2 of United's best efforts tonight, Dennis, have come from Brian Robson.
Well, he's always the most likely to get your goal, isn't he? He's always the one to get in there. He's always the one ready to have a shot. He follows up the play and a pull back from McClare. Hit it reasonably well, but wide.
Irwin goes back to his defensive position as Torpedo come forward again. Remember, if it's 0-0 after 90 minutes, we will have half an hour of extra time. If necessary, then, we will have penalties if we still have no winner.
Дорогие товарищи, в случае, если основное время матча
Webb on the right.
заканчивается ничью, то для определения
Alistair gets it back to the captain, and now Robson, the real captain, of course, the club captain, finding Hughes. Bruce. That looks like a foul. The referee has indeed given that decision, and Webb wanted to take the kick quickly. The foreign referees aren't quite so fussy about that as some of our English ones, where we've seen players booked for stopping a free kick being taken. Robson leads the free kick, which is swung in towards Bruce. Far post, touch the ball up, did well, the goalkeeper. Took it off the head of the Manchester United defender, who has this lethal record, of course. Scored 19 goals, I remember, a couple of seasons ago, albeit 11 of them from the penalty spot. But very, very dangerous from free kicks and corners. Here's Grichy trying to produce danger now for United. But Webb got back to intercept. Hughes, beautiful control on the chest, but the referee has said he pushed before he controlled it. Chugaino. Kalalaya. Haven't seen too much of him this half. Shustikov. Chugainov. Dangerous. Kalalaya. That's it. I was just saying that we haven't seen too much of him, and he almost dramatically came into the game with a goal.
Well, incredible there, but just before, as he's missed there, it's come in, open goal, Tyalayev, over the crossbar, and we saw his teammates actually come up, well, it's finished now, but they did come up and give him a bit of a volley there, which is very unusual in football that happens.
I don't think he was saying hard luck, chum, somehow, do you? Well, Alex Ferguson and his opposite number must have had varying emotions at that point.
Well, that's 2 or 3 they've good opportunities this second half, isn't it?
It is, and with 15 minutes to go, a goal now for the home side would not leave Manchester United with very much time, of course, to get it back. That's what a knife edge this tie is on. 0-0 on the night, 0-0 on aggregate. And you have to say the best opportunities of the match have unquestionably come for Torpedo Moscow, particularly in this second half. Hit him on off for that. Not a good ball, that. And that was an even worse one by Vostro Sablin. The cameraman rather better protected from the elements than we are, as United press forward with Hughes. That'll be a throw-in for Manchester United. And the coach, Miranov, and his number 2 just look at their watches, and I can tell them, I'll tell you anyway, that we've got 14 minutes remaining here. 0-0. Hughes for Manchester United. You get the feeling now, 1 goal would do it, either way. Good bit of pressure by United. They've kept the ball now inside the Torpedo half for a minute or 2. Schmeichel gets the break for the moment anyway. United have got a free kick. Alistair beaten to it though. Irwin with a bad ball. He's presented it straight to Kalalaya. Grichy. Kalalaya continues his run forward and wants it returned to him. Grichin instead finds the Shustikov and Chugainov, and now Grichin. Oh, and a dangerous cross again, and it's earned a corner, but Dennis Irwin will be very, very relieved. But that's all it is, because he gave the ball away in midfield to set this up, Dennis.
Well, they got away with it, didn't they? It was a very sloppy pass, wasn't it? And you can't afford to do that. I mean, they had done all the attacking.
Heart in the mouth now for United. A corner to Torpedo. Very flat and low, though. Strange corner at this stage of the game. A wasteful one, although they do have possession still. This Chelsov. It's Afanasiev and now Chugainov. Shustikov. Arafiev. Chugainov. And the sweep has come forward. First time we've seen him this far forward. Chelsov. Shustikov. He's had a good game. Let's Arafiev take over. Krishin. It's not a bad ball either. And the shot charged down. United will hope to try and hit quickly on the counter-attack here. And typically wholehearted challenge by Brian Robson. Gets the free kick.
Isn't that funny? The referee's given it the other way.
I must confess, I didn't really agree with him then. United very relieved, though. Hughes. Plays it in behind Webb. Very, very wet and slippy conditions still here as the rain falls incessantly. And another foul given for that challenge on Robson and the yellow card to the offender, Arafiev, I think it was. Afanasiev, I should say, on the far side of the stadium. Might have been Shustikov. It was. So he's cautioned. United's free kick. Cleared by Vostrosablin. United still have possession, though, now with Robson. Still. Arafiev gets it clear. Parker quickly onto it. Did well. Now Hughes tried to return the ball out to Webb. Chelsov clearance. It's gone out, has it yet? 10 minutes to go. Manchester United have a throw-in. It's still Torpedo Moscow 0. Manchester United 0 here in Moscow. Still 0-0 on aggregate. Webb. Robson slips as he tried to make the challenge, but United have the ball presented back to them. In. It's a good knock for Bruce, who finds Irwin. Bruce again. Robson under pressure straight away, but kept possession. Pallister. You can almost feel the anxiety of defenders in possession now. Nobody wants to make a mistake at this critical stage of the game. Pallister gets it forward to Webb. McClare. Well, the shot in the end was way over.
Well, United have battled well in the second half, and on 2 or 3 occasions, I mean, that opportunity by McClare there. But really, you must say that the Russians have dominated the second half, and it hadn't been for really bad finishing or better finishing, then they could have done the lead. They've played much more positive in this second half.
9 minutes remaining in Moscow. It's 0-0. Kalalayev winning the header. No pressure on Schmeichel, who made one magnificent save earlier in the half. Oh, that's a lovely control by Hughes. Took that down in an instant. McClare helps it on. Parker lets it run on for Webb. In it goes towards Ince. Cleared by Chugainov. And then Pallister hitting it back into the danger area. Irwin did well. Good football for Manchester United now. Brian McClare. Giggs takes over and runs it out of play. Been disappointing, really, Ryan Giggs tonight.
Well, he hasn't had, to be fair, they've had a tremendous amount of the possession in this second half, and we've always said that their midfield in particular has been extremely strong, and United have been able to get the ball up to him, haven't they? On 2 or 3 occasions he's looked quite good, but not enough opportunities to do it.
Grishim's clearance. Difficult one for Parker. He did well. Did very well. And a good ball too for Hughes. Now was Hughes brought down? No, they've only got a throw in, I think, out of that United. Torpedo wants to make a substitution now. And they're going to make it. And the player who's coming on is Dmitry Ulyanov, who I remember came on at Old Trafford. And he significantly is a defender. And he's going to replace Pozyamov, who's an attacking player. And I think that tells us that Torpedo Moscow now would be more than happy for this match to stretch into extra time. And incidentally, should it do so, and I tell you that we will, of course, stay for extra time and penalties if necessary, we will bring you the conclusion of this tie.
Команде Торпеда замена вместо Ивана Козёлова. Номер 11
Ulyanov on.
играет Дмитрий Ульянов.
Manchester United throw it. And 7 minutes on the watch. No goals in Moscow. Webb for Manchester United doing well. Not a bad ball either, and Irwin gets onto it, and a good-looking cross back in. Danger here as Webb shoots, and it rebounds to McClare. And it's somehow scrambled away there by Torpedo. Referee straining for a view of what happened then as the ball fizzed around in the goal mouth. Well, that was United's best moment of the half, but it has failed to produce a goal. Torpedo attack dangerously themselves. Shustikov takes on Bruce, forces the ball out to the left, and that's good work again by Irwin this time to get it away. Vostrosablin keeps possession for Torpedo Moscow. Ulyanov, the little substitute, finding Shustikov. Good challenge though. But they've again retained possession here, the Russian team. Shustikov. United defending in depth here. And a good run again by Grishim. Now Chugainov. Here's Grishim once more. Spreads it out to the left. Worrying moments these for Manchester United. Shustikov in possession, finds Grishim again, and that was always well wide of target.
It was always going wide, but just when you felt that United were sort of losing the pace of the game, was that they had the opportunity a couple of minutes ago when Webb falsely hit the post. It was a good effort by Grishim, but from where we were, it was always going wide.
So the score in Moscow is still Torpedo Moscow 0, Manchester United 0. And Kanchelskis back in his home country, the Manchester United CIS international winger, wonders which of these sides, as we all wonder, is going to come out on top here. Webb getting it forward. And it goes towards him. He just lost his footing. McClare tried to get in the shot. Robson has conceded the free kick. It was a foul.
It's been a hard game for them, hasn't it? And a lot of tired legs. And if it stays 0-0 and into extra time, I'm sure we see a lot more mistakes in that period of the play.
Chelsea free kick. United win back possession with Hughes. Not for long. Chelsea again knocking it forward, but Robson gets it back into the Torpedo half. Now Brian McClare looking for Hughes. Sidimonov with the clearance. Shustikov, good work by him. Looking for not finding Arafiev on this near side. Now can Giggs counter-attack for United here. He's done well, Giggs. Oh, it's a great run by Giggs. It's a marvellous, positive run, but sadly it ends with a cross that wasn't anything like as promising as the run which had preceded it. There's the scoreline, 0-0. You can read Cyrillic script. Even if you can't, it still says 0-0. Correct. Doing a bit better with the cross there.
Well, it was unfortunate. I mean, it's late on in the game, Alan, and he's ran something like 40, maybe 50 yards. He sort of beat a couple of players, got into there. The ball was very skiddy as well, wasn't it?
2 minutes of normal time remaining here, and it's 0-0 on the night and 0-0 on aggregate between Torpedo Moscow and Manchester United. And Hughes is in a bit of trouble here. He's got to go, hasn't he?
Oh, definitely got to go. Yeah.
I thought the referee reached for a yellow card by mistake, but he had already cautioned Hughes and has now shown him the red card. And Mark Hughes is sensationally dismissed here with less than 2 minutes to go in Moscow.
Well, really, that was a little bit stupid, really. Well, I mean, it was nothing at all. He'd already been booked in the first half. The referee, rightly, he went for his yellow card, realised he's obviously booked him, and he had to go. I mean, that is absolutely disastrous for Manchester United, because if it goes into extra time, in this last half hour, there'll be tired legs as well, and you're only left with 10 men. They will have to battle very much.
It seemed a nothing sort of incident as well, really.
The point, Alan, if you kick the ball away, unfortunately, it was nothing. You've got to be booked, and as you've got to be booked, he's got to go.
Well, it's the most
stupid.
silly way to get sent off, for sure. And psychologically now, they'll get a bit of a lift from that, Torpedo Moscow. And with extra time now looming, we're into the last minute. That's not what Manchester United wanted at all, nor was that a mistake by Irwin. Shustikov in possession. It took 3 defenders, but still, it was an effective challenge. Now, Bruce has gone down injured from it. The last thing they want is an injury now, United. Here's Giggs. The thing they want most of all now is a goal. And that's not a bad ball. McClare pulls it back for Webb. Parker. Robson's header. But they break again, Torpedoes, as we move into stoppage time. Shustikov, a good ball for Talalaya. And still Talalaya. Shustikov. Grishin. Arafia. Schmeichel knew that was going over. Goal kick, and we've had about a half minute of stoppage time. Alex Ferguson anxious now. And can I remind you that if, as seems certain now, the game goes to extra time, then we will be bringing you coverage of the whole of that extra half an hour, and should we need it, penalties. The problem here again for Manchester United as well is Bruce down injured. And in fact the referee has blown the whistle, so that's the end of the game. We will indeed be having extra time. We'll be back pretty soon. Rejoin us. This is Alan Parry welcoming you back to Moscow for the start of the first period of extra time in this UEFA Cup second leg tie between Torpedo Moscow in the white shirts and Manchester United. 0-0 was the score at the end of 90 minutes. 0-0 was the score in the first leg a fortnight ago at Old Trafford. And Manchester United, who have used both their substitutes, Paul Parker and Brian Robson, are reduced to 10 men here, following the sending off for a second bookable offence of Mark Hughes with only a couple of minutes remaining of normal time. So they're really up against it here, United, against the Torpedo Moscow side that have played exceptionally well since half-time. And they're very much in the driving seat now, the home side. Anafiev in possession for them, with Yarnov playing it back. And now Grishin, who's missed a couple of very good opportunities for Torpedo. Ilimonov, the defender. That was a dangerous cross as well. Talalaya didn't make proper contact with the ball. Ulyanov controls it, but the whistle has gone. Free kick to Manchester United, who have a real problem now, Dennis, obviously down to 10 men, and should they, heaven forbid, get an injury as well, having used both their substitutes. Not too many options left here for Alex Ferguson.
There isn't a great many at all, and I think what we'll see in this extra half hour is that I'm sure Alex Ferguson said to his lads, you know, you've only got half an hour to battle, but I think what we'll see a great deal of defending, and probably with only Ryan Giggs up front. But the way that the Russians played in the second half, it is going to be a difficult task. But it's not impossible. We've seen it many times before in the past where 10 men have come through in the end. And as I say, I'm sure Alex Ferguson said to his team, now listen, you've only got half an hour to battle, and then if we can get that 0-0, then it goes to penalty.
United unlucky when a shot by Webb hit the post in the dying moments of the 90 minutes. But in fairness, Torpedo Moscow came close several times themselves. Vishin getting good ball forward. Ulyanov, the substitute for Torpedo. Shustikov. This is Chugainov. Back kick goes to Shustikov. Now Ulyanov. Vostrosadlin, the number 5 defender. Grishin now switched to the left. And just showed the ball to the defender, but he's rather fortunate that Torpedo have kept possession here. Grishin with a good little layoff to Shustikov, who tried to force it back to him with clearance by Parker. Now Giggs has got to work hard here. As Dennis has said, he's going to be all on his own. This is a fine run by him. He was dispossessed, but it'll just give the defenders time to get a breather and recompose themselves now in the United half. He's got a really vital role to play here, Ryan Giggs.
And a very difficult role as well, isn't it? I mean, they've already played 90 minutes, hard 90 minutes. It's been a tough tie, and it's got to be important that he keeps some of the defenders occupied at least.
Here's Shustikov for Torpedo. Really good footballer who's had an excellent match. And that's a good ball too. Talalaya. The crowd wanted a penalty. The referee didn't want to know. Talalaya having an angry exchange with Paul Ince, the man who challenged him.
I think Paul Ince was saying that Talalaya died. It's not the first time he's done that either.
Indeed not. I don't think Paul Ince is too fluent in Russian either, so he won't have understood a word anyway. Probably understood the gestures. Here's Talalaya again. Shustikov. Vostrosadlin. Play camped inside the United half at the moment. Good tackle though. The umpteenth time in this game by Ince, who's really had an outstanding match, and it's got United moving forward. And here's Ince again. Good run by Ince. Terrific run, and not a bad effort at the end of it.
He's certainly been the outstanding player for Manchester United today. I think he's defended well. He's been excellent in midfield, and he's got up there. I know that shot it went wide, but at least had the opportunity to get into that area and have the shot. It's going to be a tough time for him, isn't it?
The rain, which has fallen non-stop throughout the day in Moscow, seems, if anything, to be getting even heavier now. Grishin for Torpedo. Fidimonov. The number 7 takes over again. Hits it first time towards Talalaya. Pallister gets it clear to Ince. Now Irwin. Oh dear, they can't afford to give possession away like that, United. It's going to be mighty hard enough to get it back. Ulyanov. Shustikov. That's a good ball, and space is opened up on the left. On the rack of it here, United. Oh, this missed kick. They've got away with it for the moment. Arafiev playing it in and trying to set up the defender, Fidimonov. United, I think, very relieved to get away with that. Brian McClare in possession. Good ball. Robson took it beautifully on the chest. Parker. Neil Webb. Good run down the left-hand side by Irwin. Hasn't been spotted yet. Robson. That's a bad ball by Brian Robson. Nothing to choose between these two sides, really, over the two legs. Kalalayev in possession now for Torpedo. And no foul. Again, the referee has decided he was making the most of that.
Well, I think the referee's done excellent tonight, hasn't he? For both sides.
Yes, he certainly isn't going to make any rash decisions when players go down on this very, very wet, slippery surface now. Ince, the man of the match for me, and he was fouled then, and the referee read that one right as well.
I know it's easy to say this, Alan, but what United have got to try and do is to try and keep the ball up there. They've got to try and keep possession, pass it around, make the Russians run, and not give away silly balls.
Giggs gets it back. This is good by United. Giggs. Irwin. Poor cross by Irwin.
But that's what I mean, that type. I know it's late on in the game and they are a bit tired, but that's from where we were. It should have been an easier. I mean, it's obviously the rains are awful. It's never stopped the whole game. Not easy conditions to play.
I think when the draw was made, a lot of people looked at the position of Torpedo Moscow in their own Russian league and thought that it wouldn't be too difficult to hurdle for Manchester United, but it's proof, should we need it, that in Europe, every single game, unless with respect to the likes of the Cypriots that Liverpool face, unless you face really weak opposition from one of the non-footballing powers, every game's dangerous, particularly against the Russian side who are experienced in Europe. And not a great side, but certainly a good all-round football team.
They're a good football team, aren't they? There's no doubt about that. I mean, they're playing particularly well in midfield, but what they lack up front is obviously somebody put the ball in the back of the net, because they've had 2 or 3 excellent opportunities to do that.
And thank goodness, from a domestic point of view, they have lacked the goal scorer, but here goes Grishin. He's dispossessed. Torpedo ready to bring on a second substitute, incidentally, as Giggs flicks it on to Brian McClare. It's his first time out to Webb on the right. Now they've got Giggs in the middle here. Webb may choose to hold it. Gets the crossing, which flicked off the defender, and that means a corner. And that means also the opportunity for Torpedo to make their substitution. Sergei Borisov coming on, and the man he will replace, Vostro Sablin. And Borisov comes on. The rain unquestionably is getting heavier. I don't know how there can be any rain left up there. Here's Giggs for United. Back out to Webb. Dangerous cross that, but not dangerous enough really, because Podshiballov was not put under any pressure. Grishin. Well, I wish I had the concession for selling umbrellas in Moscow today, because you'd have made a fortune.
This apparently is a mild day in
Dennis Allray commentating, I kid you not, from a bus at trackside at pitch level, and the rain is now pouring into the bus as well, getting everywhere. Grishin for Torpedo. It's a good-looking ball, and danger here, and Schmeichel did well. He's had a very, very sound match, Peter Schmeichel. Anything he's been called upon to do, he has done well.
He did well, because Shusakov hadn't been picked up at all, and Schmeichel's come out, brave, smothered it. Good save.
Schmeichel played here for Brøndby a couple of seasons ago when they forced Torpedo Moscow to extra time and penalties on that occasion in a quarter-final tie. Brøndby won that, and Schmeichel saved the penalty. He might well be turning the clock back tonight, because penalties are increasingly looking the most likely way for this game to be decided. We've had 11 minutes of the first period of extra time, 15 minutes each way, remember, of added time. It's a 0-0 on 90 minutes and 0-0 on aggregate. Arafiev. Shustikov. Now the substitute Borisov. Both sides have used both their permitted substitutes now. Arafiev hits it in dangerously. First time Shustikov on the far post, but didn't quite get the shot in. And a bit of confusion momentarily in the United defence, but they've cleared their lines. And a good header by Giggs. And a good return ball too from Brian McClare. Giggs again. Inson to it. Oh, he just flipped at the vital moment. That was a shame. But United still pressed with Giggs. Yeah, it's a frustrating night for Ryan Giggs. Every time he's got in a good position, the cross hasn't been good. And, well, if you didn't believe me about the rain, there's proof. There may have been changes politically in Moscow, and there's certainly been changes in one respect. Everyone seems to have a car in this city these days. And believe me, they haven't moved very far today. The whole city seems to have been brought to a standstill by the rain. Manchester United have their own charter flight back to Manchester tonight. And they'll be hoping it's a champagne flight back, but they're under pressure again here. With the little Ulyanov taken off him by Parker. Less than 2 minutes remaining to the change around now in extra time. And we still await the first goal of the tie.
And they've battled well, haven't they? They've defended. They're down to 10 men. Very difficult conditions. They've never stopped running. They could just see out this first part of extra time, and another 50 minutes after that. Then, well, you could see it going to penalties. But they've battled well today. It's been a very difficult job indeed.
As I was saying, no such thing as an easy touch in European competition anymore. Shustikov. The pace of the game has really come down a gear or two now, not surprisingly. Borisov, the substitute, who has no excuse, having only just come on, gives the ball away. No cover at all for the spectators inside this stadium. They must be absolutely saturated. Arafiev pelting off the running track surrounding the pitch now. Back it goes to Arafiev. Good run by him, an excellent run. And then Pallister takes it off his toe. And we've almost reached the end of this first quarter of an hour of extra time. Filimonov for Torpedo. United have only Ryan Giggs now in the opposition half. That's the end of the first period of extra time. And watching back in our studio in London, the former Manchester United manager, Ron Atkinson. Ron, what do you make of the situation here for United?
Well, obviously, Mark Hughes, who's probably their most influential player, must have had rocks for brains to have done what he did, and has put his team right up against it. Having said that, they look as if they're grouping. They're going to stay behind the ball. Ryan Giggs will get the Lone Ranger job up front. They'll make up their mind to play for penalties, and if a situation comes along that maybe they can nick one through Giggs or McClare breaking, they'll take that. But I think you'll see just resolute defending now from the halfway line backwards.
Thanks, Ron. It's the goalkeeper's change end. Peter Schmeichel has got a huge red Manchester United towel with him at the other end to wipe his goalkeeping gloves and make absolutely sure that the rain doesn't affect his grip on the ball. And Podchevalov making sure the cross was where it should be as the second half of extra time gets underway, with still not a goal to show between Torpedo Moscow and Manchester United. 3 hours and 15 minutes of football. Torpedo go forward again with Grishin. Shot well blocked. Leclerc finds Giggs. Now Webb. That's a good ball by Webb. Leclerc. Giggs on the left. Robson has got forward, so has Irwin, far post. As Giggs goes it alone for the moment. Maybe that wasn't the right decision. Talalayev making a good run, and he's onside here. Real danger for Manchester United. Talalayev goes down, and again the referee says play on. Well, the home fans are furious with the referee here. They feel that they've been cheated out of a couple of decisions, but I think the referee was banged on again there, Dennis. What do you think?
Definitely. Good tackle by Bruce. He's gone down that Talalayev so many times, isn't he? That, well, from this position, of course, it looked like a penalty, but we've seen it on the monitor. There's no danger.
No.
But what United have got to do in this last part of extra time, they've got to get behind the ball. They haven't got to give the ball away. I know it's easy saying because obviously they're very tired as well, but that's what they've got to try and do.
Here's Afanasiev. Yarnov. Chugainov. Rishi. Well, the ball was worth a shot, really, from that range in these conditions, but no problem for Schmeichel, who has looked, dare I say it, unbeatable tonight. He really has been the equal of everything and has been a very commanding figure in the United goal, the big Dane.
Well, he's the one that's definitely kept him in this tie, isn't it? And they'll be quite glad that Grisham has had that shot. It gives them just wastes up a few more seconds, doesn't it? It gives them time to get their second breath.
Giggs at the other end has won the throw-in for Manchester United. United went out at the second round stage, remember, in Europe last year against Atletico Madrid. As Giggs attacks again dangerously for them, and the cross deflected away. Remember that night in Madrid when Manchester United, seemingly on the way to a 1-0 defeat against Atletico, collapsed in the last couple of minutes and conceded 2 more goals, which they were unable to pull round in the second leg. A different proposition for them tonight, but equally difficult as Robson heads goalwards, but wide. Manchester United, and I tell you, should you only just have joined us, are playing with only 10 men following the sending off of their Welsh international Mark Hughes, with only a couple of minutes to go in the 90 minutes of normal time for a second bookable offence, kicking the ball away, in the referee's opinion. Borisov, the substitute for Torpedo. Now Chugainov. Good little ball, and the shot was not so good.
A little bit of desperation coming into their play, isn't it? They've knocked the ball about well, but this last couple of shots are really, I suppose in these conditions you've got to have an attempt. You never know exactly where it's going to go, but they look 2 tired shots.
Well, it's not surprising, I think, in any conditions that players would be looking tired now, but in these sapping conditions that we have here tonight, with the rain falling incessantly, it's no surprise at all. And they've been playing for a long time. Here's Shustikov for Torpedo. And that man has had an absolute stormer for Manchester United, and he won it back well then. The player goes down. Chugainov takes it off him. Filimonov. Shustikov. Afanasiev. Going to take on Parker here. And gets the shot in, but well wide. And neither side really at this stage looking likely, I think, to get a goal from open play, Dennis.
Well, the way it's gone, I mean, it's been so tiring, hasn't it? The tired legs. I don't think people realise, how tiring it becomes in extra time. And the conditions have been awful, haven't they? I mean, very heavy indeed. And a sort of desperation comes in when you get there. This shot is not hit clean, is it? Just a sort of effort at goal, but well wide.
Knocked on by McClare for Giggs to chase. And he's got there ahead of the defender. Most important thing is to keep possession. Giggs pulls it back nicely for Robson. And Robson does well, and the shot by Irwin. I thought it had taken a deflection at first, but it hadn't. Goal kicked. 6 minutes of the second period of extra time, so about 9 minutes of football left here. And, well, obviously, a goal now you would think would finish off the side who conceded it. But if you had to place a bet on the outcome here, you'd say they're likely to face penalties. Parker hits it on. Borisov. Robson in strongly. That was a good challenge. Pallister gets it forward. A good ball for Brian McClare for United. Good sliding tackle on him, though. But Pallister's there again. Now he's given it away to Shustikov, and there's a big hole left behind as Pallister chases back. Kalalaya. Parker did brilliantly then. Borisov, good tackle. Excellent challenge from Pallister again. Here goes in. So strong, driving on in the middle of the field all night. Giggs. Oh, that's a good-looking ball by Giggs, but Ince just didn't have that little extra yard to get onto it. Not surprisingly, he's worked so hard, Dennis.
And considering, Alan, that they've played with 10 men as well, isn't it? I mean, they've sort of been a bit ragged at times, but then occasionally, like Giggs has come in and he's put a nice little ball, just a little bit too far forward.
Well, one back there by Giggs. Parker for Manchester United. Good ball for Webb. Got McClare in the middle. No one else really in a red shirt. Here's Giggs. Good run by Giggs. Good effort, but not good enough.
Well, it was a good try. He's come in. It was a good move. They knocked the ball down to Webb. He always was looking for somebody. Pulled it back to Giggs. Came in. Had a good shot, really.
Just wonder there whether the goalkeeper, Podshivalov, is in a bit of trouble. He seemed to be holding his right thigh there. 7 minutes to go. 0-0. See how he kicks the ball here. He did seem a little uneasy on it, but he's certainly going to take the kick himself. He's not going to ask a defender to do so. Well, he looked all right. Bruce beaten to it by Talalaya. Parker has to chase here. Schmeichel takes charge of things. Just what you want a goalkeeper to do in that situation. There was a good ball as well to Giggs. Ince. Brilliant Ince. Webb. Good ball. Ince is there again. And got the shot in, but no sting in the effort.
No, there was no power there at all. Very tight shot. Don't forget, he ran about 50 yards before this. He's been involved in 2 or 3 runs. Had the shot, didn't really get behind it, did he?
Kalalaya's header. Parker. First time clearance by him, and a very sensible one too. Afanasi has completely sliced his clearance. Giggs onto it. Robson in support. He was brushed aside. He's bound to be feeling tired now. Remember, he hasn't played since a couple of pre-season games, Ryan Robson, with his hamstring problem. Well, they've just got to dredge something up from somewhere now, United, and hold on in there, really, for the last 5 minutes of normal time here in extra time. Borisov. Grishy. Good ball down the right. Danger now for Manchester United. They've got a lot of men forward here. Torpedo. Talalayev header. No problem for Peter Schmeichel.
Well, they're all tired, aren't they? They're all tired headers or tired shots. And the move itself has been quite good, but when the sort of final effort at goal, it's been weak, hasn't it?
Giggs showing a nice turn of speed to get in ahead of Filimonov, and felt he was being held off by the defender, and I think the referee has upheld that. He has. Free kick to United. Robson's got forward very quickly. But the kick too deep for him, then Ince tries the shot. Well, optimistic from that range, I suppose, but you can't blame him. And a bit of debate going on amongst the Russian defenders. Captain and goalkeeper Podchevalov unhappy about something. Webb is back on his feet. And remember, history is on Manchester United's side here if this tie does go to penalties, because the only 2 times they have played at home and lost in Europe, Torpedo Moscow have gone out on penalties. And another booking here, a yellow card this time for number 3 Chelthoff, the sweeper. The cameraman waits for the picture of the winning goal. I wonder how it will come about. Got to somehow or other. This tie has to be settled tonight. Webb whips it in, and that was an ambitious sort of effort. And might well have paid off. With Bruce and Pallister going forward for all these free kicks, but getting back to defend well, as Bruce did that. 2 minutes to go, I make it. 0-0. Manchester United's future in the UEFA Cup in the balance. And the referee again rightly waves play on. I think some of these Torpedo forwards have been to the Jurgen Klinsmann school of drama. Good interception by Parker for Manchester United. And now Giggs takes up the running. And back it goes. Well, it was intended to go back to Giggs, but never reached him. But still United have it. Brian McClare. And wins the corner, does he? Yes. Well done, Brian McClare. That's just what Manchester United wanted. Less than 2 minutes to go to the end of extra time. And Manchester United locked at 0-0 here against Torpedo Moscow have a corner. A test for Podchevalov, the captain and goalkeeper of Torpedo. Bruce and Pallister, both forward for the kick. And it's not a bad one. Oh, it was Bruce who got in the header, and the goalkeeper goes down bravely to save at the feet of Brian McClare. I wonder if that is to be the last real opportunity in open play now. Bruce doing well to win the header, and it could have, that skirmish easily led to a goal, but it didn't. Still 0-0. Under a minute remaining, and if there is no goal in the next 60 seconds or so, we will have a penalty shootout to decide who goes through to the next round. I had a word with Alex Ferguson this morning about his penalty takers, and he told me that there will probably be Bruce, Irwin, McClare. Wallace should have been one of them, but he's gone off now, and Pallister. They'll all be feeling nerves at this moment, knowing that that ordeal could soon face them. But it's not over yet, the match, never mind the penalties. Here's Borisov for Torpedo, taking on Parker, and whipping in a good-looking cross. And it breaks the Shustikov and through a crowd of players that could easily have gone absolutely anywhere. Schmeichel diving across his goal area, unfortunately for United, Shustikof's shot went wide, and I now make that the end of extra time. And so does the referee. The whistle has gone. And remember, as I was saying before, Torpedo, who've never actually lost in open play, a European tie here in 25 games, have lost twice on penalty shootouts against Benfica in season 1977-78 and against Bromby, for whom Peter that night in season 1990-91. It's going to be penalties. Dennis. What a situation.
It's awful, isn't it? I mean, for both sets of players to have played 90 minutes, then go into extra time. We've had the opportunities to win the game. Now it's come down to penalties. I think if you ask any football player throughout the world, really, this is the last thing that they would like to do. It's always nice for the ones who eventually come through the winners, but it's an awful way to lose whatever game, whether it's a European Cup tie or whatever. But of course, there's no other way that we can do it with so many fixtures being throughout the globe now. There's no possibility they could have an extra game, so this is the way. Certainly exciting for spectators and television viewers, but for players, you can see the nightmare of them thinking, hey, is it going to be me? Is it going to be missing it? The keeper themselves, am I going to save it, or whatever? And we've seen it so many times. Certainly exciting.
Remember, Manchester United have only got 10 men. There are 5 penalties per side.
Yes.
Should they not be able to separate the two sides on the 5 penalties, it then goes, of course, on and on and on. Well, United have got 1 man left.
Yes, well, I don't know how that would work out. I don't see... let's hope it doesn't go to that situation.
I don't know, one thing I hope. Forgive me for repeating this if you've been listening right through, but if you've just joined us, we have got the worst commentary position imaginable. We're on a bus, a Moscow bus, parked halfway inside one half on the touchline. I very much hope the penalties are taken at our end, because the other end is a long way away. So the referee will try and sort things out here. The teams have to nominate their 5 penalty takers. And can I add that the national news will follow? I'm sure viewers will fully understand our wish to stay to the very conclusion of this. It's very entertaining. It's very exciting if you're a neutral. It's absolutely nerve-wracking if you're involved. And no matter how many times in training players practice penalty kicks, it doesn't make any difference. You've still got to get it right on the night. Podjivalov, the Torpedo goalkeeper, looking like chief sitting bull there with the cape wrapped around him. And I'm delighted to say the penalties are going to be at our end. As Podjivalov keeps himself warm and relatively dry, it means that the first penalty will be faced by Peter Schmeichel of Manchester United. So Torpedo will take the first kick. And none of their players have actually stepped forward yet. Maybe a bit reluctant to get involved in the drama. Schmeichel's ready, and so too is the first penalty taker for Torpedo. And it's going to be their substitute, Borisov. So the first penalty in this shootout to decide who goes through in this European tie. Borisov for Torpedo Moscow against Peter Schmeichel. Who saved it? What a great start for Manchester United.
Well, you can't get a better start than this. Borisov comes up. He knocks it well to Schmeichel's right, but look at that. Wasn't that a beautiful... What a lovely boost for you Manchester United players.
Well, that is magnificent from a Manchester United point of view. Psychologically now, they've got a real lift. And one thing Alex Ferguson did say about the penalty takers, he picked them beforehand, but he did say it also depends on who's got the bottle on the night. And Ince, who was not one of the originally nominated players, has clearly got this, the chance for United to take an early lead in the shootout. All in. Yes! It's 1-0 to Manchester United.
Well, you always felt that if anybody was going to score on the night, it's been Paulins, because he's been absolutely superb. A little bit of a shimmy, knocks it well to the keeper, dived the wrong way.
The first time the electric scoreboard has been called upon to show a goal here. And it's to Manchester United. And Afanasieff now, the defender, will take the second penalty kick, and there's a lot of pressure on him now, with Torpedo having already missed once from the spot. Can Schmeichel perform a miracle again? He didn't need to. It hit the bar, and 2 penalties have been taken by Torpedo, and 2 penalties have been missed.
Well, you certainly couldn't get a better start there. Afanasieff hit it well, but hit it right onto the crossbar. You've got to feel sorry for the players as well right off. It's an awful thing to do, miss them. But what a marvellous start for Manchester United. You know, if Irwin could come up and knock one in, that would be 2-0. Really puts a lot of pressure on the rest of the Russian players who have got to take the penalties there.
So Torpedo have missed twice from the spot. Ince has scored once for Manchester United. Can Irwin make it 2-0 for United? He can! Dennis Irwin gives United a chink of light.
Well, he's certainly a terrific striker of the ball, isn't he? And he's hit this with real power. I think the keeper may have just got a touch of that, but he could not stop it.
Well, we keep using the word pressure on penalty takers, but it really does apply now to this one. Chugainov really has to score, doesn't he? Realistically speaking, if Torpedo miss this, they must be out. Well, he's tucked it away, all right. And it's given them just a glimmer of hope.
Well, there was no way they were going to miss 3 in the bounce, and Chugainov sends Schmeichel the wrong way and just tucks it nicely into the corner.
But vitally, of course, Manchester United leading by 2 goals to 1, and their third penalty still to come, so they can extend it to 3-1 here if their captain, Steve Bruce, nets from the spot now. Steve Bruce, one of the aceless penalty takers in the game, scored 11 times from the spot a couple of seasons ago, has the chance to give Manchester United a 3-1 lead in the shootout here in Moscow. Oh, he's missed it. The one man you would have expected to find the spot for United didn't.
Well, he looked very confident when he came out, but side-footed, but the goalkeeper saved it well. Of course, you don't get a second chance at that.
Well, isn't this astonishing? And now, psychologically, for a moment anyway, it swings slightly back towards the Russian team. And their substitute, Ulyanov, will take the next penalty kick. And now this is to make it 2-2. Ulyanov against Schmeichel. And he scored. 2-2 it is.
Well, no problem for Ulyanov to make it 2-2, but you must say that the onuses or the advantage is still with Manchester United, and obviously Blymaker is really a difficult, a very awful way to take a bet. And he knows he's got to score this one.
Well, I think even if you were leading 3-0 on penalties, there'd still be pressure on the taker. So tense, these situations. But this, again, a vital kick. If Brian McClare scores now, Manchester United will take a 3-2 lead, and then each side only has 1 more penalty left of their allotted 5. Oh, McClare did it high over the bar, and suddenly Torpedo Moscow are off the hook.
Well, really, he didn't step back very far, lifted his head. Really an awful penalty. But again, in the circumstances, very difficult to beat on.
So it's 2-2 now on penalties. Ince and Irwin scored the first 2 from the spot for United, but Bruce and McClare have missed the 2 since. And Torpedo Moscow can actually take the lead from the spot here. Arefiev is the man charged with the responsibility. And he scores. It's 3-2 to Torpedo Moscow from the spot. United have got to score this penalty to stay in.
But Arefiev, no danger at all. Very confident, wasn't he? Just side foot it high into the top of the net.
What a moment then for Manchester United. And who else would you have in this situation other than Brian Robson?
Without a doubt, no danger.
Robson has to score or United are out of Europe. And he scores! 3-3 on penalties, and that means now it's sudden death.
But if you had to pick anybody to score this particular one and keep him in the tournament, then you got to select Brian Robson. Took it very coolly indeed.
So there's confirmation on the scoreboard. Borisov and Afanasiev missing the first two for Torpedo. Insinger when scoring for United. Then Bruce and McClare missed. Chugainov and Ulyanov and Arefiev all netted. And Robson has brought the teams level. It's sudden death now. First to miss, as long as the other team scores, and you're out. It's Grishin against Schmeichel. Safe enough.
Well, just a penalty that is absolutely just hit with power to go straight in the goal. No direction at all. Hit it straight in the middle. With the pressure on Pallister here coming up. I mean, that's really, if you call pressure, this is pressure, isn't it?
Well, I can feel it. We can, can't we? Just watching. What a moment for Gary Pallister. He has to score this, or Manchester United will go out of Europe. He's missed it. Podchivalov has made the save. Torpedo Moscow can't believe it. All their players race to embrace their goalkeeper and captain. And Torpedo Moscow have knocked Manchester United out of Europe. Out on penalties. The night of drama is complete. From Moscow, it's back to London.